Tim Riley's bar has again, I go back to the idea that it's symbolic. It's symbolic in the way that many people look at life. And then Bill Windom was such a wonderful, wonderful, not just a surprise, but the fact that he played this character so well. He was so good. And I felt privileged to be in the company of these actors.
It's just such an incredibly beautiful script and so beautifully done and acted. And of course, I'm looking at it through my father's eyes, too. His sense of sadness, wanting so much of the past. And then my own sense of sadness, wanting my father. And watching this powerful script, it just, the dialogue, just the way it's filmed, as I said, just knocked me out.
In 1945, when I got out of the service, in Binghamton, New York, I'm walking down a street called Main Street. And there, a little restaurant called Dinty Moore's, where my ball club at the high school used to meet and have hamburgers and then drink beer at night. Only the front facade of the building had been left. They were tearing it down. And I recollect in that somewhat bittersweet moment a terrible swelling feeling of both self-pity and of a kind of betrayal, that here was one anchor that I had, having been overseas, that I could recapture by coming back, and they were tearing it down. And I felt somehow that a piece of my life, a fragment, a portion, had been flaked off and had been denied me. I thought often in the ensuing years about that moment, but it wasn't until a moment of depression some 20-odd years later, when things weren't going so hot for me, that I recollected that moment, and that's when I wrote this script. This is not to say it's in any way autobiographical, but much of what this guy hungered for, I hunger for, and I think it's part of the syndrome of age.
In 1998, authors and historians Scott Skelton and Jim Benson published Rod Serling's Night Gallery, an after-hours tour, a history of the classic 1970s television series, which unleashed spine-tingling tales of horror and the macabre that continue to thrill and chill audiences old and new 50 years later. Now, submitted for your approval, Creature Features, the award-winning publisher of such treasured tomes as The Art of Darkness, The Making of Star Trek, the Motion Picture, The Outer Limits at 50, and the definitive compendium, The Fantasy Worlds of Irwin Allen, celebrates the 25th anniversary of Skelton and Benson's acclaimed history by releasing a brand new, painstakingly expanded and revised edition of Rod Serling's Night Gallery, an after-hours tour. This massive, all-new edition more than doubles the 1998 issue of 400 pages to over 800 in an all-new, full-size coffee table keepsake that includes an insightful new foreword by Academy Award-winning director Guillermo del Toro, a vastly expanded commentary featuring newly unearthed behind-the-scenes background for each and every episode, recent never-before-published interviews from the original cast and crew of Night Gallery, including haunting remembrances from such stars as David McCallum, Sally Field, Gerald McCraney, Leslie Ann Warren, George Maharis, and many, many more, featuring citations and commentary from the creator himself, Rod Serling, not published in more than 50 years, with more than 100 full-color images by artist Tom Wright, remarkable gallery paintings that preceded each episode of the series, plus new research and discoveries, uncovering the truth about who cancelled Night Gallery and why. This brand new volume of Rod Serling's Night Gallery, an after-hours tour, features more than 800 color and black and white photographs, 8 times the number of images in the first edition. Many published full page for the first time anywhere. Hundreds of Night Gallery publicity photos with never before published or seen images of the cast and crew, and rare behind-the-scenes on-set photography from the filming of Night Gallery. 50 years in the making, exhaustively researched and lavishly illustrated, this definitive high-quality memento is available in 2 editions. Regular hardbound, or a deluxe limited slip-cased hardcover signed by the authors and featuring brand new cover art created exclusively for this edition. Rod Serling's Night Gallery, an after-hours tour. Order your copy tonight, only from Creature Features.